Introducing The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. With the help of this book, I'm going to show you how anyone can become a morning person. But first, why is the first hour of our day so important? During the Christmas holidays, I took some time off and began slacking on my morning routines. I stopped getting up early, I didn't go to the gym, and I didn't plan out my days. And once Christmas was over, it was time to get back to work and back to my routine. Naturally, it took a little bit more willpower to get myself out of bed, and my consistency had taken a big hit. Some days, I woke up and stuck to my routines, and others, I just rolled out of bed at the very last minute. Having these mornings so close together highlighted the differences between my personalities. The good mornings left me feeling alert, confident, and happy, whilst the bad mornings made me feel sluggish, irritable, and unenthusiastic. This is the primary ethos echoed in this book. The first hour of our day dictates the tone for the rest of our day. So, to give yourself the best chance of being happy, calm, and effective throughout your day is by having an effective morning routine. But before we can do that, we need to become a morning person. Have you ever noticed that some mornings you have no problem waking up? Like Christmas morning, or when you have a flight to catch. This is because you have a reason to wake up. We can make every morning this season by following Hal's 5-step snooze-proof solution. Number 1, starting your day with a clear intention. You can do this by using a phrase like, today is the day I. It can be something moving you closer to your goal, or just something fun you have planned. Number 2, when you first wake up, you're in a state known as sleep inertia. This is when you feel tired and groggy, and caveman brain is much more prominent in this state. We can bypass this state by making ourselves get out of bed to stop the alarm. I do this with an app called Alarmy. This app allows you to set tasks to turn off your alarm. I would suggest setting a task to scan the barcode, and then spit a barcode on your toothbrush and lead you to step number 3, buying time. Sleep inertia is a temporary state. The goal here is to buy time whilst our human brain has time to wake up and take back control. And we can do this by doing low effort tasks such as brushing your teeth. Number 4, replenish the body. When you've just woken up, you've gone around 6 to 8 hours without drinking any water, leaving you dehydrated. So to kick your body into gear, drink a glass of water. Number 5, start the day. We want to shift our mindset from sleepy you to daytime you. This means getting dressed as soon as possible. Hal recommends putting on your workout clothes, but I personally think putting on your outdoor shoes on is the most important step. There's something about tying my shoelaces that tells my brain that the day has started and going back to bed is no longer an option. Eventually, this will become a habit and you'll experience zero resistance from your caveman brain. And before you know it, you'll be a morning person. But to really build a miracle morning, we need to start our day with the right mindset. Tony was the oldest of 3 siblings, and during his upbringing, he moved school to school, never really establishing any true friendships. His parents were constantly at each other's throats, and he felt responsible for his siblings' safety. His childhood was plagued with instability, poverty, and chaos. Yet, Tony is now a multimillionaire, using his influence helping other people bring back stability and purpose back into their lives. I believe Tony's morning ritual has a lot to do with it. This is a practice he does every morning that includes silence, visualization, and gratitude. Similarly, The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod has 6 habits that can be done by anyone. It's a routine that Hal likes to call the lifesavers. These should be done within the first hour of your day. Hal intends the reader to do all of these habits at once, but personally, I believe this is more like a foundation, and it's about experimenting with the habits to find a miracle morning that works for you. What if you just can't stop your morning spiraling out of control? Silence is about centering our minds, managing our emotions, and establishing a sense of calm throughout our body. Silence can look like anything you want. It could be practicing gratitude, meditating on your thoughts, or it can simply just be focusing on your breath. I would recommend checking out Headspace on Netflix, as this will ease you into sort of guided meditations. All you have to do for this habit is set a timer for 5 minutes, close your eyes, and just sit there. You can focus on your breath, pay attention to things around you, or just ruminate on your thoughts without judgment. By the time those 5 minutes are up, you won't feel so stressful, and you'll carry this sense of peace into the rest of your day. But this doesn't really address your own self-image. A study in 2014 took 2 groups of participants and had them cycle to the point of exhaustion so that they could measure their time to exhaustion. When they were invited back to try again, Group 1 were given no interference, but Group 2 had been taught a handful of self-talk phrases such as "you can do this" or "you're nearly there." Group 1 had no changes in their results, but Group 2 had significantly improved their perceived exhaustion time. We can apply this in our daily lives and push ourselves beyond our perceived limits by writing a self-talk statement. The key key is to have the statement focus on your positive traits. Remind yourself of all of your accomplishments, the things that you like about yourself, and evidence times that you've displayed courage. This allows you to be your true self and overwrite all of that default negative self-talk you have playing in your subconscious. This pep talk pushes you to see yourself as the confident, happy, competent person that you are. But what good is all of this positive energy without somewhere to direct it? Arnold Schwarzenegger has famously achieved massive success in every discipline he's chosen to pursue, and visualizing his achievements has always been a huge motivator for him. This is how he describes his vision when training for Mr. Olympia.
I could see myself on the podium, holding the winner's trophy. I could see the other competitors on the lower steps, looking up at me enviously, but also in awe. I could see the audience going wild, shouting my name. Arnold, Arnold, Arnold. This wasn't a fantasy. This was just a memory that hadn't happened yet.
If you're finding this video useful and you know someone else that would too, can I please ask you just to share this with them? I really want these videos to reach the right people, and only you can help me with that. Visualizing an activity stimulates the same part of the brain than actually performing the activity. This is why visualization is so effective. It can be used to rehearse upcoming challenges. You can train yourself to adopt new habits, or most commonly, to visualize your goals so vividly that your brain recognizes them as fact rather than fantasy. To do this practice, just take 5 minutes and close your eyes. Try your best to focus on every step of your vision. Think about the smells, the feeling you have, the pride and excitement. If you can't feel your vision, it's not strong enough yet. Now we found a life worth living, we better find a way to stick around. Normal people don't exercise. This was a narrative I grew up believing, and I'm not the only one. The National Health Interview Survey released a report in 2020, only 24% of Americans regularly exercise. For some reason, exercise is always seen as this kind of lifestyle choice, when in reality, it's one of the 3 pillars of health: sleep, diet, and exercise. These are the basics that everyone needs in order for their mind and body to function correctly. The 3 most recognized areas of fitness is flexibility, strength, and stamina. Any one or mix of these will have tremendous benefits to your health. I personally started off with 20 minutes of stretching in the mornings, and when I felt the immediate benefit of those, I slowly began to introduce weightlifting and running. The benefits of exercise are just too good to ignore. Increased life expectancy, heart health, energy levels, joint pain, range of motion, metabolism, stability, mental health, self-image, weight management, functional movement. It's almost like we were designed to exercise. Even with all these steps in place, we likely still may not see any growth without opening our minds to new ideas. When I first entered the workforce, I was very closed-minded. I was working at a warehouse at the time, and I'm ashamed to admit, I believed the job was kind of beneath me. This led to a mindset of, I'm not going to be here long anyway, so it's not worth getting to know anyone. I shut off my potential to make friendships, connections, and enjoy the company of my colleagues because of my ego. It wasn't until I stopped burying my head in the echo chambers of social media and started reading books I understood how enriching human connections are, even if they are just temporary. There are books written on virtually every subject in existence, all which can teach you new skills, challenge your worldview, and possibly change the entire trajectory of your life. If you just read 10 pages per day, you would read an average of 12 books a year. Just think how many opportunities that is for you to have a world-shattering idea that changes your life forever. I personally started out with just listening to audiobooks, which you can now get on both Audible and Spotify. And I made a list of my top picks in the description for you to check out. We've begun to master our external world, but without the internal, we can pay a heavy price. Known as one of the 5 good emperors of Rome, Marcus Aurelius is etched in history for his embodiment of the Stoic virtues: justice, wisdom, courage, and moderation, all because he kept a journal, which was later published as a book named Meditations. That's what we mean by scribing. It's just a fancy word for journaling. This is the only time we get to slow down and process our thoughts and feelings. It can help us get our priorities in order and help us realize that our goals aren't in line with our values, and we can choose to readjust. Journaling just holds so many benefits, such as memory recall, reflect on our behaviors, and untangling our emotions. And when I compared the way I feel mentally compared to 5 years ago, I can't help but feel privileged to be alive. You'll find that you resonate with some habits more than others, so feel free to drop the ones that you're not resonating with. While these steps will transform your mornings in the short term, if you don't master your caveman brain, you won't be able to resist the snooze button in the long term. To learn how to resist your caveman brain, resist temptation, and beat procrastination, click over here.